What is going on, guys? Heart Pirates TCG here. I played Sabo on my stream. If you guys didn't watch my stream, the last hour I played Sabo and I built a deck that I think is really good. I want to respond to a comment real quick about me posting decks and saying that they're broken and like they actually suck. Guys, I have played a lot of games with a lot of random decks, and the ones I post on my channel are the ones that I actually think are somewhat like relevant. Like, I won't post like complete trash. I test out the decks, and if I genuinely think it like flows pretty well, like it has answers for a lot of things, and like it's just overall like a solid deck with like a decent like matchup pool, then I will acknowledge it. Which is why I posted that Blurple Kaido deck and then the Crocodile deck. Both of them have pretty good matchups into, you know, a lot of meta decks. So obviously Crocodile, you know, Purple Luffy, I think it's pretty good into it. And Enel, and then obviously Blurple Kaido is probably pretty good into Sakazuki, just because you draw so much and apply so much pressure so quick that it's really hard for them to get rid of your stuff. And then it also could definitely beat Purple Luffy depending on the situation. So with that being said, this is my Sabo deck. I am going to be posting, I think, 3 matches. I went 3-1 with this deck. My only loss was to Enel, but my hand was just dog doo-doo, dude. Like, I just couldn't draw anything that was like good until the end of the game. And because I had to let a Zoro die really early, which is just really unfortunate. Which it just really sucks, you know, that I had to let the Zoro die. If I had one more rusher at the end of the game, I actually win that. A few triggers didn't go my way either, which really sucks. But yeah, guys, let me get to the deck list, and I would make one change to this deck, and I'll explain what the change is in a little bit. So with that being said, let me go to the rush characters. We are playing, oh, where is it at? Okay, sorry about that, guys. So we are playing 4 Zoros. I only saw 3 in here at first, and I was like, we're definitely playing 4. So obviously we're playing 4 Zoros. It's just a really good card. In this deck, I want to go second. So when I go second, I put Adon on Sabo, swing for 6, and then I play Zoro and swing for 5. And obviously, unless they have something that's really big, Zoro just pretty much survives. And then obviously if they swing into it, like, you just minus 1,000 to it. Yada, 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 right? So Zoro basically is just he's a free 5k swing twice, because when you play him on curve, it's very rare they're actually going to be able to kill him unless they have like Hound Blaze. But against like Purple Luffy, they can't kill him on curve, so you just swing 5. Obviously they either attack your life or attack into him, and then you swing 5 again because he's just free. And then after that, well, you know, who knows, he might live, he might not, but he did his job. He got rid of 2 cards from their hand. And then we were playing 4 of the Luffys. I know I have like a bunch of different arts for them. It's 3 different arts. It's the treasure cruise. One of them's a winter Luffy. 2 of them are the starter deck Luffy, and then the other one's like one of the treasure cruise ones, because I haven't gotten a second winter one yet. But yeah, so Luffy's just really good. Like I said, it's the same as Zoro. You play it on curve and swing 6. Obviously you like to hold this in hand if you have it late game, or if you draw it late game, because obviously it can bypass blockers and you can just swing into their life. It, you know, gets past like Enel, it gets past like Enel, like if they trigger like Sanji or something like that, or even Beige, like you just play this after the fact, so you can just kind of like, you know, dodge the Beige. So that's pretty good right there. And I'm playing 2 Shanks, and I'm playing 2 of the 10 cost Luffy. Both of these, actually, these cards in combination with each other actually won me my game in the finals against Sakazuki, or not the finals, but I was at table 2 and I ended up winning. I got bubbled out, dude. I got 5th place, but I won at table 2. So I thought I was gonna be like 3rd or something like that, because I lost round 1 to Enel. But I got bubbled to 5th. But these cards in combination with each other are great. I would also bump up, so I'm not playing Sanji right now, but I would bump up Sanji to 2, and I'll tell you what I would take out for the Sanjis in a little bit. But those are the rush cards. They are just so good, guys, because especially with your leader effect, they can't kill them very easily, because they have to, like, okay, so like the thing is, like, if you play, let's say the Zoro, they have to swing into it for 7 for you to even for them to even get you to use your effect, because obviously if they swing into it for 6, if they're trying to like bait you into like letting it die, just to like save a card, you just 2k out of it. And then obviously if they play like, I don't know, like a Datsu or something like that, you just protect it, and it's just really good. So like it makes them have to like dedicate like weird amounts of Dawn to get these off the field. And then if they can't keep getting them off the field, like if we just keep playing like tempo plays, like your board can very quickly just be like this, and like you save like obviously either like save a Dawn up for like Rad Beam or something like that, and like now both of these are like really hard to actually get off the board in congruence with your leader. So yeah, it's actually been pretty good. So I wouldn't change this at all, but I would add a Sanji because I felt like I wasn't drawing like mid-game cards, and I think the Sanji could help with that. But we are playing 2 Rebecca, and the only reason I'm playing Rebecca is because like I said, they try to bait you a lot to like they'll like swing into your leader, or I'm sorry, not your leader, but like your characters for like 1 or 2 Dawn over, to bait you into using your leader effect. So you have to discard like a lot of like counters early to like play around that. You don't just use your leader effect whenever it's necessary, like whenever it's possible. You just kind of have to like play around like what can protect your guys the best. So a lot of times you just discard 2Ks, and then you can use Rebecca to like not only establish a blocker but like get the 2K back. So it's like a way to like get card. It's just a way of like recycling cards and like keep like the hand advantage and the tempo like on your side. And it's also just a blocker at the end of the day, which is just good. And if you discard your 1K counters, then you can bring it back, like your blockers. You can bring those back too, and then just play them with no second effect. Then we're playing 2 Karasu. This card's absolutely insane, guys. I don't know why I wasn't playing it at first, but it's just a really good card. This came in actually really clutch against my red-purple Luffy matchup. Obviously, just making him a 5K leader the entire game is like just monumental. It's absolutely monumental in that matchup. And he was really good into my Rosinante matchup too. Actually, he was like they try to establish Kid, and obviously Kid's really tall at being 8, but you know him being 7 is slightly better. So I was able to like make like cool plays with that. If you guys, I'm gonna put that one on my YouTube membership. So if you guys are like part of my YouTube members, then you can obviously see that match. But that one's not gonna be on this video. And then I'm playing 4 Namis right here. This is the starter deck Nami, the one that gives you Rested Dawn. Like I said, I don't have another winner one, so just have the 3. But yeah, I'm playing 4 Namis. It's just really good. Like obviously, if they force you to go first, then this is like the play. Like like this deck would ideally want to go first, but like it only wants to go first if you can find the Nami. And like I don't want to like rely on that. So I think going second is just overall better. And then obviously, you can use your leader effect no matter what, because if you Zoro on curve, like on forward on, you can save it by just putting a Dawn on Sabo, and then same with Luffy and like so on and so forth. But if in a perfect world, if you could find this Nami on turn 1, then going first is actually way better, and like it's a huge advantage. But it just, I mean, obviously I'm not very great at getting lucky with getting cards I need, so I don't want to rely on that. So I will go second until the day I die. And then for the 2Ks, we are playing 4 Tashigi, and then we are playing 4 Bartolomeo, and then we are playing 2 Virgo, which actually guys, it actually kind of came in handy a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, for those of you guys who are paying attention, these are all targets off of Rebecca. Rebecca can recycle each and every one of these. Obviously, Rebecca actually doesn't have like a second play. Like obviously, I could play Tashigi or Bart off her second effect, but other than that, like all she is there for is technically she's a +1. She establishes a body on the board and then gets a card back to hand. She's a +1. That's literally all she's there for, and that's all she needs to be, and that's totally fine. Like she does her job. We're only playing 2 of. Sometimes she comes in handy, sometimes she doesn't, but I think she's great as she is right there. Then we are playing 2 Robin, which I thought about cutting first. I was like, man, like Robin is like not very impactful right now. I wish Robin could be impactful. And I debated cutting it for the 2 Sanjis, but then I realized some of the most important cards you need to hit are Rebecca and Shirahoshi. Shirahoshi is absolutely insane, and it's the reason that Katakuri can, or like Enel can just like keep getting away with like always having counters in hand and like always keeping their cycle up, is because they play their freaking Shirahoshi, and it's a 5 cost, so it's a lot harder to remove against like Lucci. But because it's a power, this kills power. You can just kill the Shirahoshi for 1 Dawn, and it's just massive, right? Obviously, it's a 1K counter if you need it. It's great into Law. It's okay into Zoro. Actually, it's probably pretty bad into Zoro. It's probably just 1K counter, but it's great into Law. It's great into Sakazuki, and it's good into Enel because of the Shirahoshi, and that's pretty much it, and that's all you need it for, and that's fine. She does her job as well. And then we are playing 2 Mon Cherie. I think this is the card I would cut. because never in my matches was I like, man, this card is going to be really good right here. It basically was the same the same philosophy as Rebecca, except for like obviously Rebecca gets back a counter and is a blocker. This is a pseudo blocker because like they want to get rid of it off the field, but this is supposed to recycle 2Ks back to hand, and then obviously they're supposed to kill it, so it's like a 2K. This is basically another 2K and then a blocker. But it just felt like, because I'm trying to play on curve, I like wasn't really able to play this in like an efficient way, and the only times that like I was able to play this was like dead turns where like I had like so much extra dawn that I was like, I guess I could play it because I just don't have any other plays. So these two in my opinion should probably be Sanji. That way I can kind of like keep the tempo back, and I don't have to like cut any blockers for it. So those are the two I'd probably cut for Sanji. Now I'm playing 3 Borsalino. Obviously with the Sabo, it's absolutely insane because you have to kill it by battle or obviously bottom deck it, and you know, you either swing with it or you don't. You use it as a blocker, it is back to a 5K, so like obviously you block with it and then it's back to a 5K, and then people will, you know, if they want to swing at it, that's fine. It takes 2 hits, it did its job, right? Just really good. Obviously if you're on a budget, you can probably cut this instead of Moncherie, or depending on how many you have, you know, maybe cut 1 of each, who knows. And then we have triple Hina. My screen just went black and went to sleep. Come back, there we go. Yeah, Hina's really good, guys. If they can't remove this, it's pretty much like 3 free attack. It basically stops an entire turn of attacks, especially like low to the ground decks like Sakazuki. If they can't clean this up, it's literally like they attack into it, you block, something else can attack, you save it with Sabo, and then they have to attack into it again. So like not only do you block 1 attack, stop another attack, but then they attack into it again with the Hina, and it literally stops like 3 attacks. Like it's just like really good, and like in the end game, it's like absolutely insane, especially against purple Luffy. This card is absolutely ridiculous. Like they'll like swing with like Magellan, and like you just like, okay, when now your Polly can't attack, or now like your blocker kid can't attack, or whatever it is. Like there's just a lot of cards. This is a 6 or less, guys. A 6 or less can't attack with this. So there's just a lot of cards that this like hits, and it stops an entire turn, which is just so good. And then if you want to on Tendon, you could play this. You could play 3 Sabo. Sabo's also just there basically for like Magellan matchup, or I'm sorry, not Magellan, the Kaido matchup. It's just like really tough to it's really tough to get to answer like Polly and Kaido sometimes, especially like if they're like have a big board. Like it's just there, so like Kaido literally can't kill anything, and he doesn't bait you to use your leader effect on like something that he tries to kill. So it's just good for that reason right there. So nine blockers. Technically we're playing 13 blockers if you're counting the Bart. And then the defense is we're playing 4 rad beams, 2 guard point, and a bad manners kick course. We play a lot of dead cards in this deck. We play all of the rushers. They're all non-counters. So technically, actually, I think we're only playing 12 dead cards, because if you're counting these as non-dead cards, then we're only playing 12 dead cards. So obviously we're only playing the 1 bad manners because it could come in handy, which it did plenty of times. And then the guard point. The thing about the rad beams is like obviously they can't. You put them in a position where like they can't really kill your blockers, and like if they swing for too little, then like you can just rad beam out. And then obviously, like I said in my other video about applying pressure, like now your blockers can just be attack threats and go from there. And obviously like you play like Shanks and other stuff like that. So like if they try to go for a game because they're going to die, like you not only have unKOable blockers, but you have like a wall of defensive events to like help. You know, if you have 2 Dawn up with this deck, like you're probably never dying. It's like impossible. Like unless they have like Diable Jumbo or something, even then like rad beam is plus 13. So yeah, let me get to the videos, guys. But the first one I think I'm gonna do Sakazuki, and then the next one I'm gonna do Enel, and then probably red purple Luffy. So enjoy the video. All right, guys, so this is actually round 4. I wanted to put this deck out there this match first, because Sakazuki is not only one of the best decks in the game, but I also made like an absolutely disgustingly sick play at the end of the game that I think is just so cool and so saucy that I wanted to show it to you guys first. I don't know, like obviously like it's not crazy, right? But like I don't know, I was pretty proud of myself for making this play. Like it's just like a smart play that like I don't know, like it's just really cool to see like the interaction. But yeah, so The point of this deck, guys, is to, I said this in my stream, but it's either to be very aggressive early on and then late game kind of like wall off with blockers and your rad beams, or stall until late game and then finish them off with like all of your rush characters, you know, and along something like that, right? Is because like you can play either way. It's like it's not a rush deck, it's not like a stall deck. It's like a mid-range deck. You play this like kind of like how you played Luffy back in set 1. It was like a lot of your plays are like just like anywhere from like 3 to like 8 Dawn. Or 3 to 7 Dawn, and then you have like the Shanks at the end, or like the obviously the 10 cost Luffy at the end. So he goes ahead and plays brand new swing 6 here. I go ahead and take it. The reason I take it here, guys, is because I'm not really worried too much about Sakazuki in their lethal their lethal attempts. Obviously, if you're at like 1 life, it can be scary because Hound Blaze, you know, is just like a massive power boost on top of like, you know, killing a blocker. So, you know, you gotta be cognizant of that. But like for the most part, it's really like not too bad. I'll take my first 2 life relatively easily. I'll swing 6 at life here, and he goes ahead and counters out. And then I'll put a Dawn, or I'll play Zoro, put my, use my starter deck Nami's effect to put a Dawn on him, and then I'll also swing 6 at life. Like I said, guys, swinging 6 and 6 is way better because they have to have 2 2Ks to get out of both attacks, right? And if you swing 7, they're automatically going to take it, and if you swing 5 with like, let's say the Zoro, then like they can just discard like a 1K that they don't really need. I think 2Ks are much more valuable because people play less 2Ks, so if you can force them to get rid of them in the early to mid game, then when you're going for game late game, they won't have as many. So I've already said that in so many other I've said that in actually like my best video I've ever like done statistically, is I've said that before, and someone disagreed with me. I think that was just stupid, personally. So he goes ahead and goes 5 at the Zoro here, and I don't remember exactly what I was gonna do here, but I think I counter out here, and then he goes 5 at the Zoro again. I thought he was trying to bait me into like countering out again and then Hound Blaze me, but I used my effect, and my hand was like super gas either way, and he just Kobe's me, which is fine. I'm not gonna waste 2 2Ks on a Zoro. It really isn't that big of a deal personally, so I wasn't really too upset with the Zoro dying, but I do tap 5. And then I do play my Hina, and obviously they don't have anything that can actually hurt Hina because it's a 5 cost. Even if they play like Red Rock, it only bottom decks a 4. And the reason I do that is so I can swing 7 with my leader with the starter deck Nami's effect to give me an extra Dawn. So obviously I play that first so I can swing for the magic number, which is 7. So he's already down to 2 life, which is huge. I already have a Shanks in hand. I think you guys can tell. I have like a Shanks, I have a 10 cost Luffy, I have like a guard point, and I think like a 2K. So my hand is actually kind of gas, like no lie. Obviously he uses a leader effect, discarded a Hina, draws into something. He's gonna swing, I think 5 at life here, which is obviously, if that comes out, you know, Borsalina's coming out. So 5 at life, easy block right there. And then obviously he minuses the Hina. And then he taps 7 down. I'm like, no way, no way you're gonna play that card. It was pretty obvious he was gonna play that card, which is fine because I had another one in hand. So I go ahead and I refresh my Dawn. And I think for a second, because I think I had 2 different plays, but I play the Hina, and then obviously I use my leader effect, or I'm sorry, my Nami effect to get a rested Dawn and put it on my Sabo, and I swing 8 at life, and now he's already down to 1 life, which is exactly where you want to have a Sakazuki. I told you guys about the foundations of pressure. Now he has to dedicate a certain amount of Dawn to playing defense every single turn, which is the position I want him to be in. You guys are going to see just a absolutely sick play. Absolutely sick play in a second. So obviously I mean I could have played it one of 2 ways. In fact, one of the ways I played it was maybe a little bit maybe a little bit riskier. It just depends on the situation. I'll explain what it is in a second. But he uses his leader effect, trashing something to draw into. It looks like a Great Eruption. So he has like hella Great Eruptions in hand. I don't remember exactly what he does here, but I think he gets rid of my Hina, if I remember correctly. Oh, he 3,000 worlds my Hina. That's what it was. I was like, yeah, like, I was wondering how he got rid of the second one. Yeah, so he's playing 3,000 worlds. So he goes ahead and plays Rebecca, and then Rebecca's going to get back a Hina. Or I'm sorry, he's going to get back a Tashigi, a 2K counter to hand, and then he's going to play the Hina he already had. So he had 3 Hinas in hand. He's going to minus the, what's it called? The Hina, my Hina. God, there's so many Hinas now, Jesus. And he's just going to 3,000 worlds the Hina. and send it to the bottom of the deck. That's my tech, actually. I started putting 3,000 worlds in mine. I mean, he might have gotten it from like Japan or something like that, but I think I'm like one of the only people that like played 3,000 worlds, especially at my locals. But it looks like he was playing it, so I'm out here inspiring people. And then he swings 5 at life here, and the reason, okay, so here's why I swing 5 at life here. The reason I counter out, so he swings 5 at life, I counter out with a 2, and he swings 5 at life, and then I guard point. And the reason I do that is because I think I'm gonna play the 10 cost Luffy this turn. But when I thought about it, I was like, if I play the 10 cost Luffy this turn, then I think I just automatically die, because I didn't have a whole lot of counter in hand, and I did have a rad beam. So I was like, if I play the 10 cost Luffy this turn, I think I just lose to like Houndblaze anything, right? Like, even though I had 2 life, like he still had Hina, Borsalino, Leader, and Kobe. So I swing 6 at life here, and then he goes ahead and counters out, and I swing 10 at life here. And obviously Rebecca cannot block Shanks, because Shanks, anything with a cost of 2k or less, cannot block him. So obviously he takes that life here, and now he's down to 0. And obviously, you know, if I didn't have the rad beam here, then I did lose immediately. So that's why I what's it called? I played the Shanks here, because I even though like I could play the Luffy to end the game, the Shanks, like I needed to be able to play a big character to get him down to like low life. I needed to play a big character to basically go for game the next turn. So that's why I did it. So he goes ahead and Great Eruption. This play's pretty funny. Great Eruption puts the Shanks at -2, so he's at 7. And then he goes ahead and Great Eruptions to put the Shanks at -2, so he's at 5 now. And then he goes ahead and taps a Dawn, and then plays another Great Eruption, and minuses the Shanks. The Shanks is now -6 now. He's at 3 cost. So I'm like, damn, he's about to get Houndblaze. That really sucks. Hopefully he doesn't play any blockers, because that would make things a whole lot more difficult. And actually, if he Houndblaze here, I think he just wins the game. More than likely, because he already had the 1 blocker, which is Rebecca. But I just didn't want him to go for game. That's all, guys. Like, obviously what I could have done is like I could have like gone like 6 at life, and then played the 10 cost Luffy to like swing into either his life or his Borsalino and like kill the Borsalino. That was another play I could have done. So he swings 5 at life. I go ahead and counter out with Nami, and then he swings 5 at life again, and I go ahead and take it. And it's actually a Borsalino, so he swings 5 at life, and I counter out with the Borsalino I got from life, and then he swings 5 at life again. And at this point, I know that a 4 cost Borsalino is coming in, because that's the only character he can play for 4 costs that actually matters. Of course, he could play Rebecca, but I highly doubt it, because, you know, obviously I have Shanks on the board. So I assume that it's either a Houndblaze or a 4 cost Borsalino. So I go ahead and rad beam out of it. And because I had a Bad Manners Kick Course and the 10 cost Luffy in hand, I didn't want to use the 10 cost Luffy in case I needed it later this game, which I ended up needing. So he taps 4 right here, gets rid of the brand new, and then just goes ahead and plays the 10 cost Borsalino from hand, and then he passes. And then I'm like, bro, I'm about to do a nasty play. I'm about to do a sick play. So this play was just, I think it was just so cool. Like, obviously, like, it's pretty basic, but it's just saucy. It's just, for me, it's saucy. So like, you can see me like put my hands on the table. I'm like, okay, like, does this actually work? Let me make sure. Because if I swing 11 at his life, obviously he has to block. He's gonna block with Borsalino, because that's the only one he can block. But I was like, wait a second. He has 2 blockers. I considered just putting 2 Dawn, or a bunch of Dawn on like my Nami and like my Sabo, but I was like, it's like just to try to like kill him, but I was like, this is even better. So I play 10 cost Luffy, and I debate putting the Dawn on Sabo, and I'm like, let me think about that real quick. And I'm like, I need this to attack with Shanks to connect, because if he counters out of this one, then like I can't pop his other blocker. So I used my Dawn Manipulator Nami to put a Dawn on Shanks, and then I swing 11 at his life. And then he blocks with Borsalino, and I use the Luffy's effect to pop the blocker and swing 11 at life for game. Bro, that was nasty, bro, because Shanks can't, because Rebecca can't block Shanks, so he has to block with Borsalino, and because he blocks with Borsalino, I can pop his Rebecca. That, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like, that was saucy, bro. My homie Michael, bro, him and I always have some, like, really good games, man, but he didn't draw a Houndblaze the entire game. He was talking about that. He was like, where was it? All at the, like, at the very bottom of the deck, dude. Actually insane. But yeah, guys, that was saucy. You guys can't deny that one. So yeah, let me play the Enel game. All right, guys. This game I sped up a little bit because it was like a super long game. Like we almost went into time on this one. I was like, this is just a long game, dude. But I drew horrible this game, absolutely horrible, and I still think it was like relatively close. Obviously, there's a glare. Like it's actually crazy because I changed the camera angle so we didn't get glare. Like last set, and for some reason his leader is just super shiny. But that's a Enel. For those of you guys who can't see it, you can kind of see when he like casts a shadow over it. But that is a Enel. I win the dice roll. I think I lose the dice roll and he makes me go second, which I want to go anyway, so it's fine. If I remember correctly, I don't remember. But second, obviously, is obviously what we prefer. So he puts a Dawn on his leader and swings 6, and then he just passes, which I think is like a little weird. Obviously I could have countered out, but I didn't have any counters at all in this game. So, I swing 6 at his life, he goes ahead and takes it, and I swing 5 at his life with Zoro, and he goes ahead and counters out, and then he goes ahead and plays a Gadatsu, and then I use my leader effect, and he swings 5 here, and I'm like, damn, dude, if I had a 2K, like obviously I save them and like I can apply a lot more pressure, but I didn't have any 2Ks, guys. In fact, I didn't get a 2K until I like had 0, like 1 life, and I had a Sabo to even get there. Like it was horrible, dude. Absolutely horrible. I think I pretty much just had like a bunch of blockers the entire game, and that's why I said I would add a Sanji in here, because I felt like I was just like running low of like resources. So I swing 7 at life here, goes in, takes it, and then I play a Borsalino, another blocker, and I'm just not able to counter out with. Now, obviously, I think I could have done a couple things different, which is why I want to put this game on there. So he swings 5 at life here, and then I go ahead and block. Then he swings 6 at life here, which in retrospect, I should have countered out with 2 1Ks, but I didn't want to give him the hand knowledge. That I had no 2Ks. Because I think that's just like gonna make him play even more aggressive. So then I take the life here, and then I was hoping that 7 Dawn Up represented a Charlotte Linlin, but it was actually a Enel, which is like not what I wanted it to do, because now I have to discard 3 1Ks. But also like I was hoping to draw into a 2K off the Gadatsu, because I play 10. So I was hoping to draw into one, but I just didn't see one, which just really sucks. And I was in a super awkward position here. I was like, damn, like I could play aggressive here, but he's at 2 life and he's gonna go into 9 Dawn next turn, so I like just can't really like do anything, because like obviously if I do 1 life, he's gonna gladly take it and just play Yamato. So like I think the smart play here is just attacking into Gadatsu, but by doing that I have to like swing into him with like my blocker, which I already don't have a lot of counter. So before I do anything, I think I play the Sabo here. I'm in just like an awkward position. I'm like thinking for a while, which is crazy. This is round 1. The guy I'm playing against on the left is actually, I think he's a really good player. He's one of our judges here at our locals, and him and I go back and forth all the time. I think he's definitely like a top 3 or 4 player in Jacksonville. For sure. I hold him in a very high regard. So I think it's always tough going against him, especially round 1, because I'm like, damn, like this is normally like the finals, right? Like this is us like playing like in round 4 or 5. This is a deck, or this is a game that requires a lot of thought. And I also wanted to make sure I displayed the deck as best as possible for you guys, because I want to like, when I showcase a deck, I want you guys to like see it in action in like a way that like promotes the deck's like strength. So I swing 6 at life here, and I was hoping he'd let it go, but he didn't. And then I go ahead and I'm like, damn it, which is fine. So then I swing 6 at the Gadatsu again, and he goes ahead and 2Ks out of it again. And then I play a Sabo, and Sabo actually draws me 2 2Ks, which really helped. Really helped. I think I was just like dead in the water if I didn't draw them. But I discard a 10 cost Luffy, because I'm like, I don't think I'll ever get to play this card, because it's just so... like I'm already at 1 life, and I discard a Luffy and a Rebecca, and then I pass. Rebecca also is not providing me any value. I don't have any 2Ks to recycle. Obviously I have one now, right? But like I think the cards in my hand, I think I had like a Hina and like another Borsalino maybe. I think they're just a little bit better than Rebecca, especially because I can't get a Marud with them. So that's why I trashed that. And then he goes 5 at life. I trashed the Robin because I didn't think I was gonna need it, which Man, if I would have kept that Robin, I think I could have won this game, to be honest with you. Or maybe not actually, because he triggered into it, so I couldn't like he already got the effect off. So he swings 7 at life here, and I debate taking it, but then I go ahead and 2k and 1k out. Then he swings 7 at life here, and then I guard point. So I'm at 2 life here, and I'm like, okay, like now I'm a little bit healthier than I was. So like the Katakuri was like low key, like kind of a blessing. I forgot what I do here because I'm at 10 Dawn. And I was like, damn, like maybe I should have played the Luffy. But I was just so low of life. I didn't think that he was gonna give me like a life back. So like obviously, I didn't. So Gadatsu goes ahead and I debate swing into his Enel, but I had to get characters off board because I was such a low life and I had like nothing in my hand to attack with. So I swing 10 at the Gadatsu. He lets the Gadatsu die. But in retrospect, I should have just swung 10 at the Enel because this life was a Shirahoshi. And oh my god, that could have saved me, dude. If he didn't trigger into the Shirahoshi, I think I win this game because like at the end of the game, I needed him to be able to like stop countering out of stuff, and he was just able to counter out of stuff. So I might have missed sequence too. We're gonna kind of review that as well. These games, I watch my games a lot to like see what I could have done differently. That's why I think I've gotten so much better over you know the year that I've been playing this game, is because I review my games a lot and I'm very hard on myself on like where I could have gone wrong. So he goes ahead and he Amarus and then minus, and obviously, and also guys, I put him at 1 life because I need to be able to try to kill him next turn, because I thought after this turn, because he already had Katakuri and Enel, that I thought I was going to be pretty much dead, so I had to go for game. And this is where it's funny, like him and I were like talking about it like in the tournament, because you guys know how I talk out loud. I'm like, if I do that and then he does this and this and that. So like obviously we both knew what he was doing, is he was testing the waters. I was like, okay, you have a 7k and you have an 8k. If you're swinging for 7, you're probably not going for game, but you also probably could, depending on what I do, because if I counter out of this, I don't have a Dawn on Sabo, so my Shanks could possibly die. And if Shanks is dead, I have no chance, right? So I think I have to take this one right here and force him to commit to another play, which just sucks, dude. It's just not a good position to be in, to be honest with you. Not at all. So I'm thinking for a second here, and him and I are talking, and that's when my hands are on the table like that, I'm like actually like super deep in thought. That's actually, I probably like a tell. But in my hand, I have a guard point, and this life actually is a freaking rad beam, and I'm like, damn, like that could have been super helpful earlier on. I could have really used it. And I'm thinking, because the thing is, if I take this life, or I'm sorry, if I counter out this life, then obviously my board probably gets wiped, because Borsalino is probably going to die, and then Shanks is probably going to die. So I'm like, I think the only chance that I have to win this game is to like make him commit more to life. Sorry, my thing just went to sleep. But the only chance I had in this game is to make him commit more to life and think he can try to kill me, and maybe I can bait him into overextending, and that's my only chance. And that's, I kind of recognize that in game, and him and I are just talking about it. We're like, yeah, like like him and I like whenever there's like a lot to discuss, even in tournaments sometimes we discuss it, because I think we both know what we're doing, like it's not like he's gonna catch me off guard. He knows that, I know that, and like the plays that I make, he knows like what, like the goal behind it. So like it's not really like against a new player, obviously you don't want to like reveal your secrets, but Mark is a very seasoned player. So he swings 8 at life here, and the rad beam that I got off life is what I'm going to use to counter out of this one. And the reason that I do that is because obviously I think at this point I can counter out of something like really huge, like actually no, I can't counter out of the 16. And if I take this, because he Amaru'd and boosted up his leader, that's a 16k, so I couldn't counter out of that. So I go ahead and rad beam out of it, and then he swings 5 at life here. And then I debate countering out of this one too, but I think I just take it because I think I need the Sabo, because I don't have any blockers. And I'm like, damn, like, what do I do here? And I also think he's gonna like try to cheese me real quick with like the Shirahoshi or something. I don't know, man. Like this is like a weird situation. But I go ahead and take it, and then he goes ahead and plays Katakuri and puts the freaking Shirahoshi back into his life, which is just so annoying, dude. It's so annoying. And I'm just in like a real predicament here. I'm gonna skip around because I don't want to take too much of your guys' time, but I'm gonna skip around and this because this is gonna be like a long turn. Actually, this part is actually quick. So I swing 11 into his Enel because I don't want him to trigger into the Shirahoshi and get himself 3 cards. So the best way for me to do that is just to swing into the Enel so he trashes the Shirahoshi. That way he can't cycle his hand. Because if I have any chance in the world, I have to like if I have any chance of winning this game, I have to basically have him have no like counters in hand. So he thinks for a second and he just like trashes he trashes the, what is it called, the Shirahoshi with the Enel effect, and then I'm like this is where I'm thinking for like two minutes or so. And also guys, I promise you I'm not a slow player. I'm genuinely not a slow player. In fact, most of my matches end in like 10 minutes like tops, but like in some of these like really like some of these like matchups where you really have to like play perfectly, you have to like play them a little bit slower and like think through like all the possibilities, especially with this deck. Like I'm threading the needle a lot, so I debate playing the Zoro here, but I'm like, what would the Zoro even do? Like I was just gonna play Zoro and like just like play a Borsalino and pass, but then I'm like, damn, like what is better here? Because I don't want to play the Bart because the Bart is a 2k in hand, and I'm like, do I have enough to even like survive? And I'm thinking for a second, I'm like, I mean, I do have a guard point, and then I have like a couple other 2Ks, so let me just go ahead and fast forward this. All right, and this is where I just play Bart and Borsalino and pass. I think he possibly could have killed me here, but he wasn't sure he actually could. Because like he has to, like the way that I structured this board right here is he has to like count, like I can block 3 attacks and obviously one of them is surviving with my leader effect. So like he has to structure it, like if he puts too much Dawn on a character, then I can just counter out, or if he puts if he puts too much Dawn on a character, I can just block. If he puts too little Dawn on a character, I can just counter out. So I try to put him in a weird position, but I also like, because he had 1 life, I didn't want to play into Amaru, so I think I over countered here. But either way, it was the last turn, so it didn't matter either way. So I go ahead and guard point this one because I want to guard point. I want to play around Amaru. That way, if he has 3 attacks, I can block, counter out. I'm sorry, I still have 3 blockers, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So he goes 8 at life here. And this is where I'm like, damn, like, what is he going to do here? Is he going to Amaru? And then as soon as I counter out, I realize he's just going to play Yamato. So I'm like, ah, oh, damn it, dude. So I mean, either way, it's kind of the last turn. It just really sucks, man. It just really sucks. So he reads my leader like 1 more time to make sure like he's not like missing anything, which is fine, because how often do you play against Sabo? And I think he swings 8 with the... I'm sorry, I think he's swing 6 with his leader. And I don't have any counters in hand at this point. I used both my 2Ks on the Katakuri. I don't think it mattered either way. So I swing 6 here, or he swings 6, I'd go ahead and block. And then he swings 6 again, and I go ahead and use my leader effect. Maybe it would have been smarter, possibly, to keep Bart alive and then like put 2 Dawn on him to swing, and I could have just used both my leader effect. Actually, I couldn't because I couldn't save him. I couldn't save the Bart either way because one of them was gonna die, so it had to be Bart. And then he plays Yamato here, and then Yamato is going to give him a life, so now he's at 2. So I'm like, okay, well, it's the last turn either way. I can't survive. You have just a massive board. So I swing 7 at life here. Looks like he bumps my camera again, and he goes ahead and counters out with a 2K and a 1K. And then I think I should have swung 6 at life here. I think maybe I missed sequence. I'm like debating it. I have a Zoro in hand, obviously. I think I told you guys this earlier, but he has 2 cards in hand, and I think it's best here. I debated swinging 7 or 6, but he goes ahead and takes that. I should have swung 6 here, I think, because I swing. I needed him to be able to. So if I would have swung 6 here and he would have taken that, then I could have swung, I think, either 6 or 7 here, with Sabo, well, I think he could have counted out of that one either way. So I swing 6 at life, and he goes ahead and 2k, 1k out of it. So I definitely should have 6k'd and then 7k'd. Actually, it wouldn't have mattered either way, because if I play the Zoro here, and then I swing 7. So I think maybe 6k, 7k, 7k. And then his last life was, I think, counter. So he had more 1ks either way. So yeah, it didn't matter, dude. Enel's just so tanky, bro. But I also drew pretty bad, I want to say. I took too much life early on and put me in a bad position where I couldn't play as aggressive. But overall, I think this deck played pretty well. I think I'll post the red purple Luffy matchup too, for you guys. All right, guys, I just got done recording a couple games with VV Theory, so like, dude, this video has taken me so long to finally like edit and like export and all that, because I didn't want to like, you know, make him wait till like 2 in the morning to record. So this is the final game. I'm gonna be posting like 1 or maybe 2 more on my YouTube like Patreon, almost like I said, the YouTube membership. So if you guys want to join that, that'd be really cool. Yeah, so this is against Red Purple Luffy. He's using the custom art from Kozuku cards. I always say his name wrong. Kozuku cards. Joku is his name. So I go ahead, dude. I have an absolutely outrageously good hand right here. So I start out with Nami, and I play another Nami. And then I obviously just use one of the Nami's effect to put my leader, or to put a Rested Dawn on my leader and swing 8, which he takes. And looks like his hand is just full of like blockers. It's like, looks like 3 kids, or not kids, laws, the blocker law, and like Jean Bart. And then he swings 6 at life. I go ahead and take it. And then he plays a blocker law. And then I go ahead and play Sabo to draw 2, discard 2. And then I trash. I think because I was going first here, I trashed 2 of my 10 cost Luffy's because they were kind of like clogging in my hand for a little bit, and then I used my leader effect, or I'm sorry, both my Namis to put 2 Dawn on my rested Sabo, or on my Sabo, and swing for 7. And now I'm just in such a prime spot here. These Namis, guys, allow me to like play on curve perfectly and be able to protect my guys. And with Luffy, he doesn't really go wide, so anytime he attacks into me, I'm just like blocking for free pretty much, and then use my leader effect to protect the Sabo. I just pointed to the Sabo right there. So I think this is actually a horrible matchup for Red Purple Luffy. In fact, I will go as far as to say I think if I draw decent, I think this matchup is unwinnable. And you'll see why in a second. I'm gonna go ahead and take this right here when he swings 5 at life here. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I was like, I think 2 life is just a comfortable place for me to be at. Looks like the table gets shook again. Seems to be the problem these days. I go ahead and play Karasu, guys. For those of you guys who don't know, Karasu on play and on attack. If your leader is a revolutionary army on attack, then you give a character or leader minus 1,000 power for the turn. So I play him minus 1,000 power to the leader Luffy, and then I swing 7 at the Luffy, who is a 5k. And then we're joking around that I always like slam cards into people, but I'm like, I didn't mean to, bro, I swear. And then I use 3 Dawn after he goes ahead and takes that life to play a what is it called? Bartolomeo. And the reason I do this is because he can ramp to 10 Dawn and then use his leader effect to he can use his leader effect to ramp to 10 Dawn and then play a 10 cost Luffy from hand and basically skip my turn. And then when he does that, I want to be able to block with not only Sabo but Bartolomeo. That way I can just like only take like 1 life for that interaction instead of possibly 2 or discarding cards out of my hand. So I figured Bartolomeo is more important as a blocker in this situation because instead of using him as a counter and then cards, then I just use him as a blocker and I don't have to like add any more cards to that interaction. I hope that makes sense to you guys, but I mean, I'm just in a huge like advantage right here, and the thing about this board state, we're actually asking a ruling question real quick about Sabo if he skips my turn, but the thing about this board state right here is like with the starter deck the starter deck 1 Namis with Karasu. Karasu needs to be at 7k when he attacks to activate his effect to cost to power minus 1k to the leader. And with the 2 Namis right here, I can always put him at 7k, which is just absolutely unreal. Like it's just absolutely unreal. And like the only sorry about that. The only thing that's good about Luffy is that he's a 6k leader that doesn't take his own life, which is also kind of like a negative because he has like no draw power. But you know, obviously he now is just a 3 life 5k leader with Karasu. So like it's just absolutely insane. There's an argument to play more Karasu, but he's just not the engine of the deck, and I just don't particularly like having 2 little blockers. I guess to be honest, what we could do is like take out like a decent bit of blockers and just play like 2s across the board, like 2-2-2, and like maybe take out like 1 bad manners kick course and then just play like 4 Karasus or something like that. I mean, there's an argument to be made either way, because I mean he is that impactful, especially like into Whitebeard and like red purple Luffy. He's like pretty much like an auto win. So he goes 5 at life here, and then I go ahead and block this here, or I'm sorry, I counter out of this here. No, I'm sorry, I block this because okay, then he's gonna swing 5, so obviously that means Luffy's coming out. And then I go ahead and replace the because I counter out with the winner one, I go ahead and replace the other one, just a little funsies. So he's gonna swing 6 at life, and then I'm gonna go ahead and counter out with Tashigi, and then he is going to reset his turn, use 2 Dawn to get his he accidentally solved the card, so we just put it at the bottom. He gains his 2 Dawn for turn, and then he's going to use Luffy's effect to rest a Dawn to gain 1 active, so he's at 3 now. So he's going to swing, I believe, 8 at life here, if I remember correctly. And I'm totally fine and comfortable going down to 2 life, or I'm sorry, going down to 1 life on him. But he's going to put he's probably just going to swing 8 at life here. I don't think he can do anything else. I think he's considering like saving 1 Dawn for Rad Beam, but I think he's safe either way, if I remember correctly. In fact, I actually don't remember what he does here. This actually kind of is like blanking on me a little bit. Yeah, but guys, this tournament was fun. I finished 3-1. Like I said, I think at the very, very beginning of the video, my only loss was to Enel, and the guy who's playing him was like extremely good. He literally built Enel to troll me. He said after watching my video, I called Enel a brainless deck. I still agree with that pretty wholeheartedly. He said he built it just to troll me, and he was hoping he'd play me in the tournament, and he played me round 1, and I drew absolutely horrible. And I always draw bad into like that guy that I play against, the NL player. I always draw bad every time I play him. Like I genuinely think like he's just like cuts my deck weird, or like gives me like a backdoor shuffle or something. I don't know, bro. Like he's always like giving me trash hands. But now I'm at 10 Dawn here. We were thinking real quick because I'm like, why? I was like, am I at 9 Dawn or am I at 10 Dawn? But we realized I am at 10 Dawn because this was my turn 5, I believe, or maybe turn 6. I don't remember. It's late. It's like 1:30 in the morning right now. But yeah, we're thinking right here because I don't want to like post this and then you guys like get mad at me for like having 1 more Dawn than I should have. Which I don't think it really mattered too much, but you know, it very much could have. Who knows? But yeah, we're thinking here because I just don't want to lead you guys astray. I promise you, I don't. And then we're counting 5, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're good. Let's play ball. All right. Yeah. Sorry, like towards the end of this video, I'm definitely getting a little tired here, but I do play the Shanks. I use Nami's effect to put 2 Dawn on the Karasu, so we can minus the cost to the Luffy to put him at 5, and then obviously Karasu is going to swing in for 7, so 7-2-5, so he's going to have to counter out of this one right here. His hand was just loaded, to be honest with you. Like he had hella counters in hand, so he's going to Gum Rain out of this, if I remember correctly, and put the Luffy, trash the Luffy. So he goes to 8 with the Gum Rain, and I swing 5 into his life. Obviously you swing with the smaller numbers first, and then I just go 10 into his life, and he debates countering out of this one too, but I think it's smart to just take this one. Right here. I mean, I guess there's an argument to not take it, but he doesn't have any 2Ks in hand, it looks like, so you'd have to Rad Beam and then use 2 1Ks, so that'd give me more knowledge of his hand. And then I go ahead and pass. I don't swing with Sabo, obviously, because 1, I don't think I can get through, and 2, I need him to protect myself. And with the Dawn amount that he has right now, I know in my hand, because I have a Dawn up, I think I have either Guard Point or Rad Beam, that I know in my hand that I can like counter out of pretty much anything. Obviously I use Sabo right here if I need to block to like Actually, I can't because I don't have a leader on my I don't have a Dawn on my leader, but I can use Sabo just to block and like he'll just die like normally. But yeah, as long as I like in this situation, guys, like as long as like you just play around Diable Jumbo, you literally can't lose. So if they swing with like 9 on their leader and like leave a Dawn or 2 up, obviously you just block with Sabo, and then you know you can like guard point or rad beam out of if he attacks like Shanks or Karasu or something like that. Or just let the Karasu die. It's not that important. He has 0 life, so doesn't matter either way. But yeah, guys, that I'm just gonna say that's the end of the video. I mean, I won this game. Like, it's pretty obvious to tell. I mean, I couldn't mess this one up. 4 cards in hand. I think they're all counters. It's like a rad beam and like 3 1Ks, I think, or like a rad beam, a 2K and like 2 1Ks or something along those lines. But I won this game, and I basically what I did was I went and blocked with Sabo, and then I just discarded a 1K, which probably gave him pretty good knowledge of my hand, but it didn't matter at this point. He played like a blocker, I think, in past, but I just mathed him out of the game, and yeah, that's the end of it. But guys, thanks for watching this video. This has been a very long video. I hope you guys appreciated it. All my videos like this in the future are going to be probably similar formats, so let me know if you guys enjoy it, and then I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.